Shalom, shalom. Can you hear me? Put a 100 in there if you can hear me. Awesome. Shalom, shalom. All right, just let a couple more people get in so I can address this topic. Had an interesting conversation with a brother, and I just wanted to address the topic real quick. So again, if you guys hear me okay, Lisi says she can hear me. If you guys can hear me okay, just give me a 100 in the comment section. Shalom, shalom, Kimberly Well. What's going on, sister? And Ronnie Rayner, what is going on, my brother, So you can hear me, put a 100 in there. Just want to make sure everything's okay. I think we need to, address this whole thing. But before we even get started, as always, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit the notification bell. That's how you guys got the notification there. Shalom, shalom, sunflower. All right, awesome. Hit that notification bell. Anybody who even talk about this particular topic, just share it to them. Go send a link over there in a Facebook group or whatever. Just want to touch on it a little bit because it's kind of important actually. Because I actually had a nice lengthy conversation with a brother yesterday, and we were talking about the different variations, variations of sleeping arrangements and things like that. And speaking from experience and from in other brothers who practice the lifestyle, okay, and that may have more than one help me. There are what I came up with last night, okay, because we're just having a nice long conversation trying to figure out what works best. Let me just say from the top, there is no best, okay? There is no best. This way is better than that way. Get that out of your mind because there is no best. It depends on each person's household. It depends on each helpmeet's mental and emotional makeup, right? Mental and emotional makeup. I mean, there may be a helpmeet that's on the fence, really kind of struggling or whatever. Some of them, obviously there's some that are downright, not having it, and they're just not going to do it. Obviously, none of that's going to work. Then you got some who struggle with it, who's on the fence, and then you have some who mentally understand. They get the biblical picture and all that. They mentally understand, but then they emotionally can't get there. So this is why there's no one set way. But I'm gonna tell you the different ways, right? Arrangements, right? Sleeping arrangements, and there may be more. You guys can add more. You can add more, in the chat or in the comment section and stuff like that. But I did want to just bring out sleeping arrangements, right? Okay, so number one, okay, this is not in order. Okay, let me say that first. This is not in order. There is no good, better, best. It's none of that. Okay, this is just what they are, and it depends on your situation and the people that are involved. But number one, everyone's in the same bed, right? All the adults in the same bed. So let's just say there's a triad, right? There's just three, and everyone's in the same bed. Now, obviously, at that level, and there's pros and cons to each one, but at that level, okay, everyone has to be mature. Everybody obviously have to be comfortable in their own skin. They have to, in all areas, you need to, you want to get along, right? Everyone has to be, comfortable in their own skin, and you go from there. I mean, it's kind of like what celebrity does D-Ray Davis. D-Ray Davis, that comedian. He lives, that kind of lifestyle. It's not the biblical kind, but hey, well, they don't have their faith. It's not the biblical kind. They don't, not in the faith, right? The structure is like that. Everybody sleeps in the same bed, that kind of thing. The people involved, the two helpmeets that are involved, they got to be cool, right? They got to be cool. Um, everything is good. Everything's great. Everyone's comfortable in their own skin. It's cool. Um, I mean, friends. I mean, they pretty much got to be friends. They got to be, just on really good terms with each other. I'll just put it like that. Could it work? Yeah, it can work. It depends on the people involved. It depends on the helpmeets involved, right? Okay. You have another arrangement. You have both helpmeets have their own home, right? Two separate apartments, okay? Uh, I've experienced with that. One has this their own apartment here. Another has their own. The other one has their own apartment, and you know, man, husband, you go back and forth, and that's it. You have your days or whatever, and you go back and forth. That's it. Two physically separate households. I say physically, right? I mean, you can be a family and stuff like that, but you have two right there neighbors and stuff like that. It's kind of like what is that Sister Wives, like the show Sister Wives, and everyone had their own house, right? Same thing. So you have that model. Could work. You got the financial means to do that. You guys have businesses, and I mean, I don't think an hourly job is gonna cut it, but you have businesses, and you guys have certain enterprises. You can do that. Maybe you invest in real estate, things like that. You can do that. Have your own, your own home or apartment, own home, own apartment, whatever. It can work, but financially, you got to be able to do that financially. And again, I'm not going to scripture where it seems like, oh, you have to, everybody has to buy, that doesn't, you can live in one house. Everyone didn't have to, have their own house or anything like that. You just have to be able to provide. Okay. That's it. Um, the third model is you're under the same roof. All of you are under the same roof, but each helpmeet has their own room, right? Instead of having their own apartment or house, they have their own room. And husband, you go to you're on your nights, you go to each one's room or whatever for the day or night or whatever, and you go from there. Experience with that, and but there is yet another. Okay, there is another model. The fourth model is everyone has their own room and the husband has his own room. So he's not going to a different helpmeet's room. He's at his room all the time, and a different helpmeet come to his room that night. Obviously, if you're home, if you have that enough bedrooms, and so that's how that works. So you have those particular models. There is no better. It depends on the people involved. Let's see what you guys have there. So let me just go and quick little roll call with you guys. Let's see. Okay, Lacey, shalom. Ronnie Rayner, shalom. Kimberly Wells, shalom, shalom. I said hello to Sunflower. Mr. Axel, shalom, shalom. Zen Explorations, shalom, shalom. Okay. Terrence Davis, he said, is it immoral to sleep in the same bed with the two wives? I don't find that anywhere in the scripture where it's immoral. I just don't find it anywhere in the scriptures, right? You should not commit an immoral act, and that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, you should not commit an immoral act, but just because you and two wives are in the bed at the same time, that does not constitute immoral, right? But you should not commit an immoral act. Okay. Example: you introduce an animal or something in your bed. Not good. Not a good thing. Okay. So, just keep that in mind. But that's what I want to do. I wanted to just kind of address those different models, right? Those different models. Okay. Let me just recap. Because in speech and presentation they say, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So it's going to be everyone in the same bed. Okay, all adults, all aboard, everyone's in the same bed. 1. 2, different apartments, different domiciles, different homes, right? Different tents, if you will, different apartments, different homes. Okay, you have that. Then one house, different bedrooms. Husband go to different bedrooms. That's how they figure it out. And last but not least, husband has his own room. Everybody else have their own room, but then they come to him on their nights, right? Obviously, that brings up like dividing up days and nights and all that stuff. That's going to be it's very personal. Sometimes there's just kind of leapfrogging through the week. Going back and forth. If there's two, and then if there's three, then you say every 3 days, and four, and so on and so forth. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's how it's however you do it. But it really depends on the people that are involved, because you're going to get into because you could get into time wars, or you're spending X amount of time with this person, and you spent 4 hours over here, and that kind of thing. So you really got to watch out for that. You got to be wary and watch out for like competition over time. So you got to sit down and have that conversation, because that's a uncomfortable conversation. It's sticky. It's not fun. It's not a fun conversation at all. But you got to have that conversation, and you really got to lay down some guidelines and put some rules down and stuff like that, because that kind of thing creeps in. But the more assimilation and submission that you have, the easier it's going to be. And you have to be a good leader. You have to be a good leader. And part of that leadership is picking the right helpers to be in your household. That's part of that leadership. And so you got to test that extensively. And I'm talking to the guys. You got to test that extensively, okay? Because you got to be careful, okay? So and right now I'm talking to the guys. Ladies, don't worry. I'll talk to I'll address your side as well. The guys, you got to be very, very careful, because there's a competitive nature, there's a territorial nature and stuff like that, and then there's a jealous eye that feels inequality and stuff like that, even if the inequality does not exist. Okay, even if it doesn't exist. Again, I'm talking to the guys. Even if the inequality doesn't exist, that air is always that's there. So it's real important that you pick the right people. Okay, it's got to be very, very compatible, and it's incumbent upon you as the leader to be able to do that, to be able to discern that. It's just really, really important. People can put on a show for a while. Okay, people can put on a show for a while, but you can't put on a show forever, right? So it'll come out. So early on, you want issues to come up early on, before you seal the deal. You want issues to come out early on, just so you can see how they get along. Okay, just so you can see, and you go from there. Sisters, I caution you, when you are coming into a situation, coming into a household, I caution you. You want to make sure that he has the right purpose, right? What's your role there? What's your purpose, right? Is he just collecting people? Is he just collecting helpers and stuff like? Is that what he's doing? For what purpose? What are you going to be there for? What is expected of you? What do you expect of him? Okay. Let's see. Lisa says sometimes it's not even just in regards to time, but space. From what I've heard, some women can't share a kitchen. Yeah, they can't even share a kitchen. Yeah. I mean, no, that's actually a good point. That's what I'm saying. That's actually a good point. That they can't just, this little thing. Every little thing. Can I put it like this here? Going like you said, can't share a kitchen, because some sisters and stuff. It goes back to gotta have their own space, right? So if you have queen of the kitchen, she don't want any other sister coming in and rearranging and doing anything different. I had a situation where one wife, she did organize the kitchen the way she liked it, where she would put certain things in certain places and stuff like that, and that was fine. It's no big deal. But at the same time, the other helper didn't cook at all, which means she had no say in how the kitchen was to be set up, period. Right? She didn't cook, didn't like to cook, so that's it. So it's kind of one of those things. So you got to put different ones in different positions and that kind of thing. So because I do believe, yeah, they, in a lot of respects they're going to need their own space, and that's why I said there's no better way. Like for instance, you got the one where everybody's in the same room or whatever, then who sets things up, or a quote unquote decorate, who decorates or set things up the way they want it, which one. So there could be a problem there. You might have two, there's a good match and either one of them cares, like I don't care, whatever. It just really super duper depends, right? It really super duper really depends. So that's why I was saying, there's really no better, best, or anything like that. So if there's any unique taste of soul, shalom, shalom, brother. How's it going? How's it going? Shalom, shalom. Yeah, some people, you just can't share. So you really got to figure those things out, and and communicate a lot. You do. You have to really communicate a lot. A lot of things can get lost, in translation. A lot of assumptions will be made. So you got to sit there, have a meeting, and just go, and deal with the issues as they arise. But you can actually mitigate a lot of those issues if you talk about stuff up front. Everyone involved should be confident in themselves and understand their roles. There should not be no insecurities or jealousy involved. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. Absolutely, Kimberly Wells, you're absolutely right. Everyone do need to know. I couldn't agree more. Everyone needs to understand their roles, need to understand their strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that. Because, for example, with the battle of equality, right? You may have one where there's just when I was talking about that competitive spirit, you may have one helper just jealous of the other one over anything, right? So it's like, okay, you may have one where you take one to, and I'm just using an example, to a steak restaurant, right? And then the other helper is like, well, you took her to a steak restaurant, you didn't take me to a steak restaurant. And then you're like, but you're vegan. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, so it's just it just anything just to be upset. That's when there's some malarkey going on. That's when one of them is being a complete butter muffin, right? That's how you know. Because it's like, okay, I took you to where you wanted to go to a vegan restaurant. That's where I took you. She wanted to go to a steak restaurant. That's where I took you. Kind of thing. And that's just an example. That part's not real. That's just an example. But I'm just saying. So you really it goes back to what Sister Wells was talking about. Everyone should be secure in their own right. That's why early on, before anything goes down, that's why early on you really got to talk about that. You really got to work things out, and you got to be like, okay, this is your role. This is how I see you. And then we go through those scenarios. Talk about that stuff early on. This is going to be your life. This is the home you're coming into. Ladies, this is the home you're coming into. Fellas, this is someone you're bringing into your home. And we need to be adults. It's supposed to be a permanent thing. It really is. It's supposed to be a permanent thing. You're supposed to be covered until you die. You're supposed to be a patriarch until you die. You're supposed to be bringing up righteous seed. You're supposed to become bringing up a righteous household. You're supposed to be redeeming some sisters who actually need covering. There's all these. It's supposed to be, but too many people are out there playing games. Too many people playing games. We gotta do a lot better. Out here running around in neighborhood trying to find scrap wood and leaves to build my gardens for free. That's not a bad idea. save that money, bro. Save that money. Yeah, brother out there trying to get it done. Pandemic or no pandemic, trying to get it done. Remind me. Yesterday I was like, man, I gotta do something. I don't know about you guys, but I get stir crazy. I just go stir crazy. I gotta get something done. So at any rate, guys, that's those four examples, those four models and stuff like that. You guys have like any questions or anything like that, let me know. Have any input, thoughts, concerns, let me know. Put it in the chat, put it in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. I will be back, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Israelite Prepper.